Gaia just trying to defend, the reason as to why he was one of the shortlisted nominees of the IEBC Commission, just urging Parliament to approve his nomination. But then let's go back to the story that I told you earlier on about the Public Accounts Committee Chairperson James Opiyo Wandayi saying that it's impossible for Parliament to watch the committees to establish ownership of assets belonging to the government for lack of fixed assets register. Wandayi wants the National Assembly, the National Treasury actually, to develop a national asset management policy and automate the asset management process. On his part, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Noordin Haji, wants Parliament to review laws so that state officers charged with corruption step aside. So I'd like us to listen to what the CEO of ESCC, Twalib Mbarak, had to say, and also the Director of Public Prosecutions, Noordin Haji.
So the question is, do we continue having these meetings and continue lamenting, yet the laws are there for us to effect them? The Constitution itself provides that a state officer and a public officer, which includes all of us here, including members of Parliament, if indeed we are honest, you should be able to step aside. The Auditor General will continue pointing it out, but because her role is only to point out, and she really needs, I think, in my opinion, she really needs some teeth to be able to say, if you have an audit query, then you should step aside. If you have an audit query, you are not fit to run a financial system or process. However, she will do her best, she will bring the reports, then, nothing happens. For myself, for example, I cannot prosecute anything based on her reports. We still have to take it to an investigating authority, whether it is the ESCC or the National Police Service, for me to be able to prosecute. I wish there was a piece of legislation that would allow her to have a certain cadre of investigators, or her report to be considered as being equivalent to an investigated matter, so that I can be able to prosecute based on her report.
So what we are saying here is we must look at preventive mechanism. If Miss is being abused, how do we go about it? An interesting development we have here, I don't want to go on reading a speech, but the practicality of the challenges that are there on the ground that affect our office, affect the DPP, and affects the judiciary. And at the end of the day, the people who support us is the Parliament and, of course, the central government. As much as we call ourselves an independent commission, we can't work without Treasury, we can't work with the Office of the Head of Public Service, we can't work with the MPs. We need support. And it should not be about ESCC. Yes, I can investigate cases effectively. If the DPP is overstretched, where will my cases go to? They will remain with him. If the judiciary does not have an elaborate, quick system, and I should not be mistaken, because I know there are journalists here, they may say judiciary is the main obstacle. For him. Now we are creating war between the ESCC and judiciary, and we work very well with them. We are saying there must be a mechanism of streamlining the automation system. If we are doing system reviews, there must be a way of enforcing such system review.
It is now a week since the burial of the two slain brothers of Kianjokoma, who met their mysterious death in the custody of police officers enforcing curfew hours. KTN Moige William paid the family a visit and struggling to come with terms of the loss of the two